was furious with him.
There, finally.
Fine. He didn't want to have his photo taken. Dad went round in front of him. I don't know what pulled. Oh, on the ship. David was on the ship with us, you see. He spent 2 weeks on the ship with us. Went to Manila.
Papa?
Oh, yes. We didn't have him doing his famous side stroke.
Looks like we're back in Hong Kong again.
I was going to say, I have no idea where this is, but it must be Hong Kong. Sampans. That must have been our boat that we were on. Our ship. I don't even remember the name of it. I just can't see. That's Irving Merish, I think, again now.
That looks like another racetrack.
Oh, this must be the racetrack in Hong Kong. We went to every one that wherever we went to the racetrack. South America. This was
Storm.
kind of I was going to say a bad day.
Boxing on the ship?
Yes, yes, they had entertainment. They must have had a boxing match. All the Japanese people I know.
Look at that, a helicopter.
Yes. Perhaps it was dropping the mail off.
Do you suppose this is Manila?
Could be.
Nope, that's New York.
Oh.
Definitely New York.
Even their skyline must be entirely different now. This was taken from the hotel window. Fifth Avenue. I remember Papa was leaning out of the window, and I was frightened he was going to fall out the window.
This must be the train ride back from New York.
Haven't the foggiest idea. We might have been going to visit somebody from New York. We had a few friends out of town. We used to go visit and go by car, and they used to meet us. Now, this is when my mother and father were leaving to go back to England, and that was at the station. There's David and Papa. And these beautiful flowers that he adored.
And his bird coop in the back.
Was it? Yes, yes. Those were the days when we had David dancing with me on the lawn. And there's Rebel. Oh, this was at Coronado. That was a Coronado, just before we were going to restaurant. This is outside the house, David smoking. Michael. You see the bird houses in the back? Can you? That's a very good picture of the bird houses. Papa again doing his famous barbecuing, which he adored to do, and which he was so bad at. And the chairs you recognize, we still have.
It's back when you had vines growing on the house.
Yes, ivy all the way down. We had a lot of ivy. This was at when Harold Merish was there again, and Lottie, and Marvin Merish, and that's Marvin Merish's son, and this is Bobby. That's when we had that beautiful Hedy Lamarr thing on the terrace. This is our 20. No. This is at the races.
Del Mar.
Del Mar, right. That was Del Mar. So they're jumping about a bit. This is back at the house. Oh, now that was, that's Sylvia Hillman, that's Charles Hillman. That's Kerman and his wife. He just got married. They all came over to Sunday tea. They were on their honeymoon, those two. And Sylvia Hillman. There's David, Michael, and myself. I think that was still at Del Mar.
I believe this is Hollywood Park.
Oh.
Another day at the races.
See how all the men wore hats in those days. This is Sylvia Hillman, Charles, and myself. Oh, here we go. and there were the boys and Lottie's niece, that was. And that's the twins, Sylvia Hillman's grandchildren, the twins in there. And this was a football match with boats on top of it.
Neat trick.
Yeah. If you tried, you couldn't have done that.
I suppose that's Coronado.
Yes. The boys in the boat. And there's Papa in the boat.
What a sailor.
No, I think this is where we had to have him towed in, and he was infuriated. This, I think, is my 25th anniversary. We showed some of the lovely flowers that were sent to us. David dancing with Pat.
Oh.
Now this is back in Coronado. He was a very important man, but I forget who that was. A helicopter landed on the grounds there. Now this is Sylvia Hillman's house in Palm Springs, just outside Palm Springs. And we went to stay with them for a weekend. It was a very nice house. This is Charles Hillman. That's Edgar Hillman,
Who was Edgar?
Charles' brother. Charles' brother. And that's myself and Sylvia Hillman there. She was a very pretty woman. Your father said I always had my hair done the same way. I really didn't. It was different there. It's a lovely house they built.
Beautiful. Very
Yeah.
large, nice house.
Very nice house. It was lovely. Now this is where when David was a counselor at a camp, and we went to a place nearby which was a resort. We took my mother and father.
Was this in Ojai?
No, not Ojai. David will tell you where the name of that place was.
Lake Elsinore?
Elsinore, right. And there's a like a resort near there. This is what did you say the first one? Ojai, yes. This was at Ojai. I remember. I remember the dresses I wore, and I remember we had a lovely weekend there, Papa and I. We had a gorgeous weekend there. It was right on a golf course. It was lovely. There's Papa. He used to love those jackets, bathing jackets. Michael and Jeffrey. This baby again. She was a spoiled baby. But you got a lizard there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So we took my mother and father to this place for the day because we went to visit David, who was a counselor at the camp nearby. They're the three boys. One of them, Jeffrey, was climbing on Michael's back, I think. Yes. See? And they're all the hefty women. It's my mother and father, Hetty and Sidney King, walking in my garden. Michael dropped the shade on my mother's head. This is one of the,
This is Michael's graduation?
yes, I think it was Michael's graduation. Michael was the name caller there. That's right. That was Michael because he was the name caller. Now, this is my silver anniversary when we went out to dinner. Dad and the three boys, and went to the the Beverly Hills Hotel. I remember that.
Looking
And
very
that was
stylish.
Bessie. Yeah. And then we had a reception the next day in the garden. That's Herta Bonninger and her husband. That's Michael. Playing about. See the ivy up there? We had all that taken away, that ivy. Was David going back. David. Michael pretending he's been shot. This was all at the silver wedding anniversary. Laura Hillman I see there. And that was Pat Myers. David was returning in his sailor suit. This is Jeffrey at Palms. Dolores Brown, I think he said the girl is with him, I'm not sure. This was the opening of this school. He was in the first class at Palms. I'm now proceeding to change it.
There he is.
There he is. Very. Jeffrey. With the boy. Yes, and she's Shields, that was. Mrs. Shields and her mother and her husband, Dr. Shields. Yeah. Jeffrey will love this. Oh, Mr. Lindop. Ed Lindop. Diploma taken on the footstool, which is still there. What happened?
Oh, baby just wants some more milk.
There's Bessie. No, that wasn't Bessie. It was somebody else.
Your mother.
My mother, yes. Cocktails. My father, yes. Hello, Rebel, you look so good there.
Is that
Jeffrey, yes. There's Michael. Dad wanted to photograph us all coming out. Michael and Jeffrey with Rebel.
Which part?
This is Rancho. They used to play baseball down there. That was Michael. That's Michael. Barbecuing again. He loved to barbecue, Dad. He was so bad at it.
And that's it.
That's you.
Oh, more.
Where were we going? Here, I wonder.
Oh, the box on the film said England 1956.
Oh. Oh, yes. We had a wonderful vacation then. We had a car and a chauffeur, and we went all through the countryside. That's Laurie Bloom and his wife, Jean. Yes, that's Laurie Bloom. She had a dog. She adored that dog. This is Hyde Park on a Sunday morning, where all the men wore their bowler hats and met. Typically English, you know. This is all Hyde Park.
Was that you in the
Yes.
stole?
Yes,
Lovely.
yes.
Still have the stole?
No. I gave it to your mother? I think I still have the hat, however. Looks like the American Embassy. I don't think it is. Not rugger, a football match or championship of some sort, I think your father went to. That's a statue in London of Church. No, of now this is at Westcliff, I think. Yes, that's Sadie Fine, Sadie Selby. Now this is a Coventry of the bombing, you know. After the war years, we went there to have a look at it. They rebuilt it. I think they kept the devastated part and rebuilt it behind. Yes, this is the new part in Coventry that they did all the new building after the war. Yeah. Beautiful buildings there. This is Shakespeare country.
Stratford?
Yes, Stratford-on-Avon. That was where Shakespeare's gardens, where he lived in that house. And that's Sadie Selby, John Selby, and Jacqueline Selby. With them. We spent a lovely weekend with them in Stratford-on-Avon. Yes, the Selbys and their daughter, a very pretty girl. You see the thatched cottage, Hathaway's cottage. Papa must have been taking photos from the car. They're all so fast. I don't know where. Oh, Brighton. I'm sure that was Brighton. Yes. This is definitely Brighton. The pier at Brighton. I used to walk along there when I was at boarding school. Wonderful architecture there.
Come on, baby, be a good boy. Want some more?
I think the Swans in Hyde Park is this.
Packer wasn't it?
Yes, read